They have their own fandom.com/Blimey Cow wiki.
Okay, this may become a multi-part thing.
They have a picture of like all of the different characters.
I was like,
Oh my
that's like
god.
really. Are you still on the fandom?
I'm sorry. I
Get
saw
off the fandom.
I
Talk
saw
about
animated
Jesusman with
stuff.
me. Hello and welcome to Talking to Tomatoes, the podcast where we listen to and observe, consume the fundamentalist children's media that we grew up with, not just for its quality, but for the pernicious propaganda behind it. Is what we usually do. Today we've got something a little different to you, but I am one of your hosts, Eric Eberly.
And I'm Jubilee Alexander.
So today we're doing something a little differently. So do you wanna go through the process of you finding this?
Okay, so as you know, we've been watching episodes of Odyssey, and I was at one point I was clicking through on some of this page of free episodes, and there are these tiny little links at the bottom, and it says learn more about the album, learn more about the pilot, which is the name of this episode. And then there was visit Blimey Cow, and my natural curiosity was, hey, what the fuck is Blimey Cow? And what the fuck is Blimey Cow? How do we even explain this? Help if I clicked on it. But Blimey Cow appears to be the website where these two guys have been clearly making content since at least 2007. We're gonna
Oh
pause
my
right here.
god!
I'm gonna
Oh my!
actually pull up their names. Homeschool with us, Jesus Christ.
Oh, Josh and Jordan. Okay, there's God. They got a
Oh,
Wikipedia. Why do they get a Wikipedia? We need a Wikipedia page.
it's actually really funny because they said when our podcast launched in 2013, it was the number one podcast on iTunes for a whole day. That's not how those metrics work. That's growth. And when you grow from nothing to anything, you usually are the number one podcast for a day. So Blimey Cow is a company. I think that's probably a strong word that these two brothers, Josh and Jordan, have been doing since about 2005. And this website is just clearly an amalgamation of like all the videos they've done. I mean, they've got a podcast, they've got a bunch of videos, and I found what we're going to watch today, or what we just watched today, on one of their old shows, which was a pre-YouTube online video show
Wow. Oh
called
yeah, it would have been.
Jesusman. Jesusman, as Eric said earlier, is 6 episodes and generously is about 14 minutes of content, which, and not like while we will pick on Odyssey episodes for making weird choices and having odd production value. This is clearly these two guys when they are about 15 to 20 years old in front of their parents' house in some little suburban street somewhere. So like the audio is dog shit, the quality is low, but yeah, again, it's just some fun little project. I'm glad a lot of the projects that I was working on around this time have disappeared from the internet because I know we all loved my Linkin Park Lord of the Rings anime music videos, but those have been lost to the ether. I hope.
I hope they may be sitting in a hard drive in our parents' garage
And
somewhere.
yeah, it's on somewhere. But I was just looking at they had an old list of old shows, and I found the oldest one, which was Jesusman, which we just watched. I don't know that there's a plot. Like it's like, and honestly, generally delightful. A delightfully
Generally, yes.
weird.
I think there was like one episode where I kind of went okay for like most of it, but for otherwise it was just it's surprisingly good. It's got the character of Jesusman, who is one of these guys. I don't know
I don't
who's
know who's
who,
Josh and who's Jordan. Although we
but
might start mining mining Blimey Cow for some content.
yeah, according to their YouTube, 130 million views for Blimey Cows of their
Well,
lifetime. So
all right.
so we're definitely punching up. So yeah, it's the character Jesusman is
Like
loosely
there's not
based on
really a plot. There's not like it's just this weird
it's a skit
character
show. Yeah,
with the worst fake beard you've ever seen. And that's not even trying to be. It's literally, I think it's a piece of carpet with a mouth hole cut into it. Honestly, and you were saying earlier, like there's no homophobic jokes. There's no like there's one person who they don't I don't understand the joke, but they said there was some unpardonable sin, and when the kid started to say it, Satan jumped out from behind a old car, picked the kid up, and ran into the background. But they were censoring it the whole time what he was saying. So I don't know what that is, but other than that, Jesusman speaks in a little bit of AAVE. Again, 2007. There,
Yeah. There were no slurs that really jumped out at me, as far as I know. The kickoff to whatever thing happens involves him turning to camera and going, "Oh no, they didn't," and that's kind of the extent of sort of the
that's usually about a
weirdness.
third of the jokes in the thing.
Yeah,
But
again, these episodes range from like 60 to 180 seconds, like each. They're not long. I'm trying to figure out if they were just doing it for padding or they were just very proud of it. But they have like a title sequence that they play every single time that involves, one of them like jumping across frame, trying to make it look like he's flying, but they're not stuntmen, so they don't have enough a space to do that. But yeah, in general, very very funny.
pretty much every episode had like a shockingly deep cut Bible joke. Like and and for as much as they were like, I mean, as much as they kind of linger on some of the oh no, he didn't, like a lot of times they would be these little throwaway jokes about like the old covenant. But like again, just they did that at one point. Jesusman goes, "Get behind me, girls," and you too, Satan. And then like they don't, they're not pausing for laughs. They're not doing anything like that.
Yeah, there's no reaction shots that they use. It's just I mean, again, we're not going to dwell on the quality and stuff, but I was actually really surprised at the quality of the audio, all things considered. This is the kind of thing that you expect to have like the like in
Yeah,
the in,
the
in the
wind, the
background,
tiniest
or
breeze, messing with your little handheld camcorders or digital cameras like microphone.
yeah, but it was surprisingly good. But yeah, the throwaway jokes were some of my favorite things. Like there's one point where Jesus he's like trying to get people to ignore a false prophet and follow him. And then it's like, so what are you gonna do about that? And he reaches over, opens a mailbox, and pulls out a squirt gun. And it's just like these weird little throwaways things. It was also very. I did again. Is this reading into it too much? But there, in the first episode, so at every point when he says his slightly obnoxious catchphrase, then there's sort of like this slow mo sequence where he like stands up and he'll like throw his staff away and get ready to do whatever he's gonna do. And in the first episode, he has a can of something that he crushes and throws away. And then in the very next episode, at the very end, uh, there's this reference where he turns to the character who's holding something and goes, "Where did you get that Jones soda?" And then he throws it away. Which first I was like, "Don't those come in glass bottles?" But then you hear the can clatter away, and I was like, "Oh." Did their parents tell them that it looked too much like Jesus was drinking a beer in the first episode? Because you
Oh,
know,
that's funny.
because it usually involves him sitting in his front yard, and then someone either comes up to him to talk or walks by, and he like it's like I definitely see the whole like sitting in your front yard drinking a beer kind of a thing as the hi you tender young 15-year-olds. Maybe don't have Jesus drinking a beer on his in his
Like he's
lawn,
drinking, yeah. It's
sort
very
of a
King
thing.
of the Hill coded.
I mean, do we just go through our favorite jokes from each episode? Because I mean,
Yeah, like let's
they're so short. I feel like it's not like we're gonna be like, oh, rank your favorite. It's like no, there's like three jokes an episode, so
pretty much.
we're gonna have the same one. My my
The episode that I deeply didn't understand, there Jesus is watching a bunch of people in the pool, which again he's just like get lifeguarding, and there's someone splashing around and goes, "Hey, calm down, don't make me walk over there," and I'm like, incredible,
That's great.
spectacular.
That was like one of the more randomly funny ones because he looks over and there's a person who's just like face down on the edge of the pool, like they're out of the water, and then for some reason they like come to and like crawl to the edge and then just like a seal entering the water, just go in and go straight to the. It's like someone's above ground swimming pool,
Yeah.
and they go down, they like sink straight to the bottom and stay there, and then Jesus goes, "Tell me he's just sleeping," and I'm like, what does that mean? That's
Jesus, you're supposed to know everything.
and then yeah, and that one, then he goes to the edge, and then he goes, "Wait, what would I do?"
What would I do is so funny.
And then he reaches his hand. I had too high hopes of, like, I don't know, they hid something that was made of clear plastic in the water,
Oh, I kept
like,
wanting them to try do some bad practical effect of him actually walking on water would be really
but he
funny.
just like sticks his foot out, and like they cut away because you see him like starting to lose his balance a little bit, or just
Yeah.
struggling to keep his weight back so he can lower his foot to the surface of the water. And then he grabs the guy, and is like, he's like, "You saved me, Jesus man," and then he's like, "I can walk," because the guy's standing up already. The fourth episode, it was like I was trying to decide if it was the like most offensive one, or if they were trying to be like, if they were trying to poke fun at things, because there's this guy who comes up, he's like, "Jesus, I'm having this problem. I used to be strong and now I'm weak." And he's like, "Because I shaved my beard."
And there's a big run up to being like, oh yeah, he's got a beard and he shaved it off. It took me a while to be like, oh, like, what's going on? He's like, I play drums. Did this, and then he shaved his beard off. Like a girl calls him and says, "Hey, can you come to school so I can shave your beard?"
First off,
What's going on?
this man had a beard out to here. Like, this was not obviously Jesusman was starting to get some traction in their circles, so they found an adult who was willing to shave his beard for a bit. But this was an impressive beard that the man had. But he was like, "Yeah, I was doing this. I was eating peanuts with the shell on, and then I went and shaved my beard, and now I want to eat gummy bears and play the trumpet," which,
The
like,
gayest of instruments.
I know, it's just like I get it in the context of what is the opposite of a peanut with its shell on, which is like the squishiest, softest candy. It's like, I just don't understand. Like, I feel like there could have, if their whole thing was like I don't know. I feel like I didn't quite get the weakness, and then I totally don't get the drums require strength and trumpets don't. I mean, I guess it's that this person, of the instruments that he played, the weakest one was the trumpet, which
So I know, like, I will straight up say I'm gonna be projecting here a little to be like, I think what they're doing, because, like, again, most of the people in this are probably 15, 16, 17. They might be a little bit older, but these are all very young people. Most of the people in this are men or boys, and there is a fascination with beards, and like we were both raised in, with deeply problematic traditionally the ideas of what masculinity and thus manliness were. So I think if they were sitting there being like, we can't grow beard. Like, we can't grow beard. I mean, they are constantly referencing Jesus man's fake carpet beard as being impressive. Like, I bet these boys have their whole life been made fun of for their peach fuzz and their scraggly little beards or something. And I think, like, because they couldn't obviously make him like, I mean, they can't make him suddenly want to suck dick because he shaved his beard off. Like,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
not going to be doing this because they're, again, shooting in their parents' front lawn. Um,
I'm gonna edit this on Windows Movie Maker on the family computer. I can't let Dad
we
see
don't
me
want to
making
even make
jokes about.
jokes like that, but he's just like, they found a guy who one can play drums and trumpet and scream impressively loud because everyone's kind of pulling their punches most of the I think that weirdly the reason a lot of the jokes work is because they're said sort of unconfidently, so they cut away very quickly. And so when this guy throws his head, he randomly falls down, and one looks like he skins his entire knee and shin, and he
Right.
screams. Yeah, it looked like an insanely bad wound. And then he just screams for like a minute straight.
But that was sort of an odd one, and then of course it's kind of them not like subverting the we've been made fun of because we can't grow a beard. Yeah, shockingly, a 15-year-old can't grow an impressive beard our whole lives. But it's them like trying to like co-opt the jokes into their own thing because as the guy's telling the story, they keep cutting back to him and Jesusman, and Jesusman is just like, I'm sorry, what were you saying? I couldn't pay attention to you because you don't have a beard, basically. The next episode is probably my favorite. Is first off, it starts with Jesus talking to some girls, and
Yes,
he's like 777
that
7777,
was so funny.
and
And they
they're
go, "Is that your cell or your work? Or is that your cell phone?" He goes, "Work phone. I'm always at work."
and then they're like, who's that? And I don't know. It's one of those, is this intentionally funny or not? This shot of a very far away person walking towards them wearing what at first I thought was a Batman mask, but it's just meant
It's a
to
little.
be a mask with like devil horns on it. And it's Satan Man. And then of course it's the what I think is was like my favorite joke of the entire series was because they like look at him and then all of a sudden he's like movie magic, he's behind you. Oh, speaking of movie magic, I just want to go back. It's like that's maybe it's just the way that I think and stuff, but I actually found it very impressive to be like, okay, because obviously the character who shaved his beard, so they had to film all of his stuff with the beard, which is out of which is like the middle and the end, and then he had to go and shave his beard, and then
Because
he
at the
had
very end, Jesus man like pokes him with his staff and his beard comes back.
yeah
And you're like,
yeah
I go again. I was like, yeah, you thought ahead.
yeah
You
yeah
thought
this
this was a
they
little.
didn't show up one day and they're like and we're like, okay, here's the joke, and then they're like, ah, fuck, we have to you know and in the end they have to give him a Jesus Man beard because they forgot to film the end stuff. In the same way, Satan Man in the next episode, Satan Man appears behind him, and he goes, get behind me, girls, you too, Satan, which is a funny reference to Jesus saying to Satan in some one of the books. He says, get behind me, Satan. And it's just also like very funny because it's like, yeah, I mean, he's literally like putting himself between Satan and the girls, and he goes, get behind me, you too, Satan, which is like, I don't know, it's very funny to me.
Yeah, it was a good joke.
um and then yeah, there's a thing where Jesus Man is making fun of Satan's lack of a beard. I mean, the guy has what would generously be described as a chin strap situation, and he goes, "You could grow a beard or something if you denied its power or something," and everyone goes, "What?" And he goes, "It's in Jude. It's been a while." Like,
Hey, it's in Jude. It's been a while. Was another very good joke.
yeah. Again, and I mean, it's like even like they are better than Odyssey at this because they are not taking the context of it. It's that I looked up where that's from. It's literally a thing talking about like false prophets and how they put on like the trappings of righteousness but deny its power. And so he's like literally saying that in this context, if the beard is the source of like is like the trappings of righteousness, Satan would deny the beard its power and stuff. And I was like, wow, we actually like preserved the context of the straight, like whatever you think about it. It's like they again, this is like a very smart joke. So yeah.
God,
I,
I was trying to Google the Jude verse, and there's literally a desiringgod.org article called "Oh Beard, Where Art Thou?" And I'm
oh
just like,
jeez.
sometimes we should just like go to like open up like the Brave browser or whatever used to block everything, and just like go start clicking around Christchurch's website or something, and just see like what terrible mommy blogs, like
Oh,
trad wife ass shit is in here. Oh
it's
my
almost like those
God.
like those Wikipedia contests. It's like, let's start from the same place and see who can get to the
Oh,
wildest shit. Yeah.
can we justify concentration camp?
Wow, we went
Wow, 3 click.
from the Salvation Army's website to Holocaust denial. Wee.
This guy just made a very funny joke in the click on here. He said it's something about the peacekeepers' beards were cut off to symbolically emasculate them, and by extension, David, with a quote to some commentary, blah blah blah. And then he goes, "Not to split hairs." Parenthesis, ha. Like,
Ha.
okay, okay, good job.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Anyway, back to Jesus Man and Satan Man. And again, in a like surprisingly like self-deprecating way, Jesus Man is like, what do you got to do? Go like start some wars or kill some babies? And Satan Man goes, actually, if you look at the history, that's more your jam. And I'm like,
Damn,
wow.
I missed that joke.
Oh, especially because then Jesus goes, yeah, the good old days when we could just smite people. It's like, no, we don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore.
Wow.
Gosh, that episode 5. Yeah, if you watch one episode, watch episode 5, because I have the most written about this one thing. So Satan is basically like, hey girls, you want to come hang out with me instead? And then Jesus is like, no.
They kind of like keep changing their mind whether he's flirting with them or trying to and just entice them away from G. And it's very odd.
Yeah, that part isn't very clear. I think, I don't know, maybe they could only get the girls to commit to. Actually, I almost wonder, because it says that two of the major figures are, what are their names? Josh and Jordan.
Josh and Jordan. Yeah.
Josh and Jordan's wives, like involved in the Blimey Cow whole thing. So I mean, yeah, that would be interesting if those if it was like, hey, this is Josh and Jordan's girlfriends at the times, or
oh
just
my
people that
God.
they knew.
Were you looking at Blimey Cow's wiki or like an actual Wikipedia page? Because this is fandom.
No, this is Wiki. Yeah, this is
okay.
the actual Wikipedia.
Because guess what? They have their own fandom.com/Blimey Cow wiki.
Okay, this may become a multi-part thing. Let's do Jesus Man, and then we might expand.
Sorry, I'm getting this. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna lose my mind again. There's a picture. Are these all? Oh my God. They have a picture of like all of the different characters with different, and it's literally just the 4 people, and yeah, I'm pretty sure these are their wives. Oh,
Okay.
this is so embarrassing.
Anyway, so Jesus Man is like, no, you can't go with him. These girls won't gain the world on my watch. Again, I was like, again, a great reference. And then Satan and Jesus are like fighting. And there's also, I forget, I kind of referenced it, but I hadn't really mentioned, the slow-mo sequence is always like this very, very funny to me, where he usually involves him like he's like standing up from wherever he was, and he throws away his staff, because it gets subverted a little bit later. Because Satan was asking the girls about what they're into, and they're like, oh, like theater and film, and he's like, I can get you all of that. I just need a little tiny thing, sort of implied to be their souls. And so then they're like fighting, and that involves Jesus Man and Satan Man yelling at each other, and Satan Man is like, Broadway movies, Oscars. And then Jesus Man goes, youth camps, church dramas, made for TV movies. And again, I was like, that's like, God. Really? Are you still on the fandom?
I'm sorry.
Get off the fandom.
I saw animated stuff, and they're bragging about their 2 episodes of animated things. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back.
Amazing. Get off the damn wiki. Let's talk about this.
Okay, I'm on Jesus.
Let's do a deep dive into their.
We'll do a deep dive. I think for the next episode, what we should do is we should both go in separately and come up with like 3 random weird things to show and talk about.
So after this, the Broadway movies and church camp, made for TV movies. There's this wide shot where the ladies are between, and they kind of look between them, and then they walk over to Jesus Man, and I was watching that, and I was like, wow, that I guess that makes sense for this thing. And then like literally as I'm having that thought, Jesus Man turns to them and goes, really? Like,
that's funny.
Wow, really? And then at the end, oh boy, we need to poke around for this. He's cut. There's often like a sort of like a sign off thing where he's talking to the camera, and he goes, "You'll see these ladies come again in," and then he starts listing like other Christian media. And the only reason I know that is because of the 3 things he listed, I recognized one of them. I rewatched it a couple times, but the audio is just a little bit garbled, and so it's hard to hear. It sounds like he's like, see these ladies again in like Salties, and they kind of look at him and like shake their heads a little bit, and he goes, something like Holmes or Homie's Clubhouse, and they're like, no, no, no. And then he goes, McGee and me, and they like shrug and walk away. And I was like, okay, I know McGee and me, but I don't
Yeah.
know those other two things. So, boy, this whole thing is just turning into a hydra. We keep
Uh,
being like, okay, let's we're gonna do one episode on Blimey Cow, and all of a sudden, look what's happened to it. Episode 6 was sort of, I don't know,
Boring.
yeah, kind of disappointing as an end.
Again, there was the funny joke where he starts reading a verse in Hebrews that talks about or he reads a verse in Hebrews about the unpardonable sin, which is like, I don't know, I don't care what it is. So, but he starts to say, oh, is that like, and then they bleep him out, and Jesus man is covering his ears and screaming, and then Satan picks the man up and walks away, and I'm
It
like,
beats him
all right,
first. He beats him up, and then he picks him up and throws
oh
and
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of impressive. The guy literally throws a man over his shoulder, well, a boy over his shoulder, and sprints down the street. And I was like, okay, this is. They got their strong man to play Satan.
I remember being 19.
Yeah, and then it was I thought was sort of a funny for like a sign off joke was he so he picks him up and he runs down, and then they do a slow motion dissolve where the guy, he literally disappears, and then Jesus man goes, he is finished. And that's how they end the
So they
series.
end the series.
There was a point where they did a funny subversion of the Jesus man stands up and throws his staff away, or they I think it was, oh yeah, it was actually in episode 5 where he turns and goes, oh no, they didn't, and then he starts to do the transformation sequence, but he's already standing, and then he
So he's
quickly
like,
he turns around and he quickly runs over and sits back down, and then proceeds to slowly stand up, and I thought that was pretty funny.
so like this was fun. I mean, as content, like it's not really pernicious, and I think what it goes back to is the several of my favorite like YouTubers have done videos on why conservative, and usually it's conservative Christian comedy, is so bad from a mainstream perspective. And I think weirdly what this Jesus man thing is showing is when you are making jokes first, you're not trying to push this thing. Like they're in fact, maybe it is the difference between Odyssey and this is Odyssey is trying to proselytize first. It is made from a point of view of a company that is trying to teach Bible lessons and spread the good word and all that stuff. But this is the reason it is funny is because they are writing their jokes first. They are trying to, and they are making it for their own audience, which is people that get these Bible references. I mean, the reason it works on us is because we are raised in the same way, and we get. I mean, these kids are probably the
Oh,
same age as us.
maybe not in 2005, but in 2000, if I was seeing this in like 2001, I would be dying. Like, I would
Oh
be like,
yeah.
we gotta make our own Jesus man. Like, holy crap, this is amazing. But
Do you
yeah.
remember? Hold on.
Oh
Do you
God.
remember Dawson's Kirk? I don't remember anything about what we actually recorded. Do you remember what that is?
I do in college. So this would have been 2003. So
Yeah.
we've been making content longer than the Jesus man. Screw you, Blimey
Get
Cow.
fucked, Josh and Jordan. This is probably bad content, not good for the episode, but
As far as I know, nobody involved in this had ever seen Dawson's Creek. It's just funny because Kirk is like an old word for church, and so it's like, it's a Christian Dawson's Kirk.
it had something to do with Christchurch up there being I think there was I feel like they used the word Kirk as in church at somewhere or something.
Yeah, but yeah, so we had put something together. Nobody had any idea how to film anything, how to write anything. Yeah, it was again like this, something that was made for an audience that understood what was, we weren't trying. I mean, this was before YouTube was a big thing. I mean, that was back when we still downloaded Lonely Island videos from their website to watch them, kind of a thing. But yeah, when you make something like you can tailor jokes to your audience. Like that's important, or else people aren't gonna understand the references. But if it's gonna be funny, you gotta write a funny joke first. That, I mean, yeah, that's basically it. And these guys were doing that. They were writing jokes. They were doing stuff that was funny, and then I guess tailoring it a little bit to. And I don't know. I could definitely see us when we were 14, 15 being like, okay, we gotta be where it's like we gotta be careful about being too offensive or something, because dad is gonna see the footage on the wonder why all of a sudden his hard drive is full of all this footage that we've created on our crappy digital camera. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have to do a deep dive into the Blimey Cow cinematic universe. uh
Maybe we'll do that next. Maybe we'll do another Odyssey episode just to sort of keep it on brand. It can be a
yeah.
side project.
So yeah, we're gonna boy, yeah, we weren't planning on this damn Hydra of Blimey Cow to be a thing. So we got to do another episode on this. We're also have planned we're gonna do a Christmas movie of some kind, for a big long, like, feature length Christmas episode kind of a thing. So look forward to
And
that.
I immediately found a 26-minute full version of a Odyssey Christmas movie. Cool.
An Odyssey Christmas movie. Okay, let's,
I
yeah.
liked Electric Christmas.
Electric. Okay, wow, there we go.
There's no more information. Comments are turned in.
In the meantime, follow us on the various socials. Also, individually, I am Eric.Eberly on TikTok.
And I'm Titan of Joy on TikTok as well.
Talk to you later, tomatoes.
Is this right? This thing? Okay, I can do it this time.
I
And
believe in
I'm
you.
Chris. Rest in piss, Dr. Dobson.
Yay! We got
The voice was
it!
bad, but I got the words out.
There we go.